How we doing, everyone? Going to be talking about anger today. We don't want to let anger get in on the inside of us because it will destroy us. It will create a bitter root. It'll create a lot of separation. So let's make out some of these scriptures here and see what it's saying about anger. In the New Testament, we've got Ephesians 4, where they do quote the Psalms, and they say, and it says here, "Be angry and do not sin." And it's quoting Psalm 4:4. So we go a little bit down further than that, and it's continuing to talk about anger. In chapter 4, verse 31, "Let all bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, and evil speaking be put away." So here we see that we are called to be putting away this anger, which is really the common sense, because when we come into contact with our conscience and with the Spirit, we know that we are to put away this anger because it harms us, it damages us. Once that gets inside of us, it can destroy us. So we're to put it off and take on this different spirit. So then what does this mean here, this psalm where it's quoting, "Be angry and do not sin"? Because it sounds like it might be giving a little opening to be angry. But if we take a look at the psalm, we'll see here that it's not actually telling us to be angry. It says, "Be angry and do not sin. Meditate within your heart on your bed and be still." So, more of what this is really telling us is that if you are angry, then you should be meditating and be still. Because if you allow that anger to stay in on the inside of you, it's going to destroy you. So, people are going to get angry. You're going to be tempted to be angry and feel that anger on the inside. And I think in a way it's just expecting that this is going to happen with some people. And that's why it's saying be angry. It's not saying that be angry is not saying that it's okay to be angry or that you should be angry. That's not what it's meant by saying that. It's just kind of saying that if you do get angry, the way to solve that anger, and it tells you right in the second sentence of that verse, well, what do? You meditate within your heart on your bed, because that anger is going to actually take you away from your heart. It's going to take you away from God. Now, the Bible does use the word anger quite a bit through the entire Bible, but it's not always using it in the same way. And I could go through here and show you many other verses in the Psalms themselves where it tells you to, don't make friends with an angry person. Don't allow the anger to get on the inside. So I think we can agree that the common interpretation and the common sense interpretation is that we don't want anger. Okay, we don't want to be angry. We don't want this anger on the inside of us. We want to put it out. And the way we do that is by being still and not responding, allowing the power of God to come in us so that we don't have to respond in the same way to the situations that tend to make us angry. Because how does that get inside of us? Well, maybe somebody's upsetting us, a family member, co-worker. You're in a situation and you're responding to what someone else is doing. You're responding to it in the wrong way. You're getting resentful. and then that resentment creates the emotion, and then you're having thoughts and images about it and what these people did, and all these images are flashing up, how you've been hurt and how they've done wrong. And then by continually reminiscing that, right, you're becoming angry. This spirit of anger is building up stronger and stronger inside of you. And there's a lot of other things to do with it as well, guilt and covering things up. But this is the way of the ego. And we're trying to put it off. And that's what we need to do. We have to be still so that we can get out of our own will, because if we are angry, that is a connection in a form with pride of our own will, where I'm trying to take my own will, put it on the world, and I'm trying to play God by controlling situations and making things how I want them to be. See, and that's a form of pride. And because we are doing that, we're becoming guilty, and then the anger emotion makes us to where we feel like we escape from that. So it's this whole kind of detailed thing that I don't want to go into too deep of how this egoic, selfish structure works. But what we need to simply know, and I think it's common sense, we know on the inside there's a part of us, our conscious, the part that connects to God, that knows that anger is not a good thing. So we really shouldn't allow ourselves, we shouldn't overly beat up on ourselves for being angry and make ourselves feel more guilty. But we should deal with it in the proper way, and that's what I'm saying. We have to deal with anger in the proper way, and it gave us the simple answer: meditate and be still, so that we can come in contact with the other spirit, the master spirit, and not the spirit of the world. Because when we get in touch with that spirit, the spirit that Jesus had, the spirit of our Father, then we're going to see the truth. We're not going to have the anger anymore. It's going to reveal the truth to us, and then we'll be able to deal with the anger in the proper way. So, it does talk about God being angry, but how can you compare God, who is completely beyond us, to some emotion? And that's why I think it's wrong to try to compare God and angry and these certain scriptures in the Bible, with God being angry, and equate that with the same thing that we're talking about here. Because, right, we're supposed to put that off because it's a form of pride for us. So whatever God's doing with it, whatever God has to do with this supposed anger, that's totally beyond us, and that's not necessarily our worry, because we're not in the same essence of God. But I think what we can say here is that just because we don't want to experience anger, and then we can experience peace and gentleness and understanding and live in that spirit, that doesn't mean that we can't take firm action to do the right thing. If we need to tell somebody the right thing, which the Spirit will actually strengthen us to do that in the proper way. So instead of getting angry about a situation, which is really kind of more of a infant way of dealing with things, we'll be able to properly, maturely deal with things in the right way. And, speak when we need to speak, and speak sternly, and just speak up and do what's right. So that's what the Spirit of God is doing for us. It's maturing us so that we can do and take actions in the right way. But we can have the self-control so that we don't overreact. But we can still do things if we have to. If I have to defend myself, I can still do that if I really need to. And I don't have to be angry about it because I won't be caught in my emotion. So this is what we're speaking about here today. And I hope you got something from this. So God bless you. And you have a good one.